Are you somebody that struggles with knee pain, hip pain, back pain, ankle pain, foot pain, or tight joints? Or does your body feel older and your joints feel older than they should? Do you get injured easily? Well, today I'm going to provide you with a great solution for that. So just go ahead and stick around, follow my lead, and I will show you the way. Hi, I'm Coach Paget, and today I'm going to teach you how to foam roll. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you for a small little favor of just going ahead and hitting that subscribe button, because that's going to allow YouTube to send you more of my great content that's going to help change your life and help you on your fitness journey. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started? And if you want to find out why it's so important to foam roll and why everybody should be doing it, stick around till the end because I'll explain. All right, this is where you're going to want to go ahead and get your foam roller and follow along with me. Okay, you're going to learn a lot better that way. So we're going to go ahead and start with the upper quads right in here, upper thighs, upper legs, right? And you're going to go ahead and get into a plank position on the forearms, and preferably you're going to want to do this on a softer surface than I am, right? So like a yoga mat or a carpet or a rug, and you're going to roll back and forth, stopping just above the knee. You don't want to roll over any bony structures, just stay on the muscle. And you're going to want to lean to the left, lean to the right, get different angles on the muscles, and you're looking for tender spots, okay? You want to find areas that feel kind of tender or sore, and those are the areas you're going to slow down and pay a little more attention to, okay, and concentrate on. Another thing you're going to want to do is when you find these tender spots, you're going to want to either stop on them completely or go really slow and take a couple big deep breaths. And on the exhale, that's when you're going to feel like a release of this tension. Okay, these tender spots are like restrictions, knots, adhesions that are in the fascia or the muscle. Okay, and try to keep your abs a little bit contracted or a little tight so you don't arch your back or droop your hips down too much, because you're going to put too much pressure on your lower back if you do. Okay. All right, next we're going to do hip flexors. That's the hip bone right there, and below that, right in here, about 5 or 6 inches, that's where you're going to roll. Okay, that's where your hip bends, and just get, feel that hip bone, get right on the spot, roll up and down just like we did before on the front of the quads. And you're going to want to look for tender spots again. Same thing, slow it down when you find that tender spot, and take your time, big deep breath, lean back onto the glute like I just did right now. That's the upper glute, glute medius. Roll to the front again. Just try different angles, and you're just trying to find what spots you're tender in. Some people it's more tender in the front, some people more on the side, others in the back, like the upper glute like I just said. So these areas are very important to roll, because when your hip flexors in the front get really tight, it restricts your hip extension, your ability to contract your glutes, right? And if you're restricted in that, when you do squats or you do any lower body movements, it's going to cause lower back issues. You could even possibly throw your lower back out, right? And you're just going to feel tight, and your body's going to feel older than it is, and it's not going to feel good. So now we're on the other side, same thing. Roll, lean to the back, to the side, and then come back over to the front. Take your time. Don't go over the hip bone, just stay just below that. Keep rolling, big deep breath. And if you find a spot that's tender, just go ahead and stop right on that spot. Big deep breath, and exhale. There you go, good. All right, the next area is the IT band, or the side of the leg right in here, okay? And it is called the iliotibial band, and it's a long fibrous band of flexible fascia that extends from your hip to just below the outside of the knee, okay? It also has an attachment to the outside of your kneecap. All right, so what we're going to do is get on the side of the leg so we can roll out the IT band. And same thing as earlier, you want to just take your time, roll up and down, look for some tender spots. And for most people, the most painful area is going to be the midpoint between the hip and the knee. All right, so you're just going to want to slow down on that spot and take a big deep breath. Oh, by the way, you're going to put your foot on the ground if it's really ultra painful, because that foot is going to help you take some weight off of the leg you're rolling on, okay? Just push with that foot that you put on the ground. Anyhow, you're going to go back and forth and take some big deep breaths, and you're trying to release some of the adhesions and the restrictions you have in the fascia and the muscle. Okay, now we're going to get on the other side. We're going to do the same exact thing. All right, just roll up and down. And again, if this is too difficult, you're gonna put your leg that you're not rolling on top of, you're gonna put that foot on the ground. And again, look for tender spots, take your time. You could even stop on the tender spot. Big deep breath. Exhale. And feel some of the restrictions just ease up a bit and release, okay? Also, you're gonna wanna engage your core a little bit and contract your abs just a bit, so for those of you that have lower back issues, so you don't put your spine in a compromised position where you let your hips drop too much and then you get up and you feel like you have back pain. So just keep that in mind. Just keep your abs engaged, okay? All right, the next area you're gonna wanna do is the inner thighs, okay? Or the adductor muscles. So you're gonna put the foam roller vertical and you're gonna do the same thing as before, just taking your time, finding the tender spots, rolling back and forth, big deep breath, exhale, release some of those restrictions and adhesions, okay? And on this one, you want to, again, make sure you keep your abs engaged and contracted a little bit so you don't dip your hips down too low and put your lower back in a compromised position. And go ahead and, one important note is you want to make sure that you're lifting up your body off the ground in that same kind of plank position, okay? And the leg that you're rolling, that's where you want to shift your weight towards, okay? Because if you shift your weight and lean all your body weight and just lie on the ground on the leg that's not rolling, you're not going to get much benefit from this one, okay? Very important note. So try to get in close towards the knee, not rolling over the kneecap or anything, but get real close to it, okay? And all the way up in the upper thigh again. Take your time, big deep breath, exhale. And by the way, this is probably a good time to mention that your arms, if you're not used to doing this, are pretty much going to get tired. So if you have to take little breaks here and there from holding your body weight up, then go ahead and do what you have to do. Take breaks. Maybe you have to split up this rolling session into 2 or 3 different rolling sessions, but do what you got to do. You'll get used to it. Your arms will get stronger and you'll be able to do it eventually, okay? Just don't give up, don't quit. All right, next area, we're gonna do the calves, okay? The back of the legs. So this one, the important thing to take note is you have to put one, or preferably you have to put one calf on top of the other one, on top of your shin area, because if you don't, you're really not gonna get much benefit from this one. You have to have some weight on the calf in order to really get some benefit out of this one. And as you can see, I'm shifting my feet left to right, getting different angles on the calf. You want to make sure you take longer than I'm taking here, but you want to get the lower calf really close to the Achilles tendon, and then you want to get the mid and upper calf as well, close to behind the knee, okay? And now we're going to move up towards the hamstring, and you want to go all the way up close to where the glute is, okay? The really upper part of the hamstring. And something I'm going to show you in a minute, but I'll mention here is you want to make sure you lean forward with your upper body as much as possible, okay? And then you also want to make sure you flex your foot up towards yourself, okay? Like that. And that's going to help you get more benefit in rolling the hamstrings, because the hamstrings and the calves are a little bit tougher than some of the other areas to really do it correctly. And now we'll move it to the other side, do the same thing. And it's important that you get one hamstring at a time, because if you try to just sit on it and get both, you're not going to get much benefit, and you're not going to really be able to switch up the angles too much here. See, as I turn my foot left to right, I'm able to get even portions of the inner thigh that I wasn't able to get on that last adductor inner thigh rolling that I just did a second ago. Yeah, just take your time, slow it down a bit. And then next we're going to transition over to the glute, okay? So it's right below, kind of right below, you're going to feel your hip bone, but it's, on the back side this time, more so than when you did the hip flexors earlier, okay? And you'll see people grab their ankle and put it right over their opposing thigh, but you don't really have to do that. You want to make sure the muscle is nice and soft. You don't want to keep too much tension on it. So you have a muscle that goes across your glute called the piriformis, and that's what you're rolling on right now. This is a great one if you have back pain or tightness. It can help release that pretty quickly. Here's the knobby foam roller right here as we speak. I'm going to show you that one next, okay? All right, so here we go. We are going to go ahead and flex the foot forward towards yourself. That's called dorsiflexion, okay? And then next you're gonna lean the upper body forward, okay, as much as you can. And this is, like I said earlier, this is gonna really help you get more out of the rolling session. The reason why I'm using the knobby roller, and some of you may have to use the knobby roller, is because once you get used to the smooth roller, you stop feeling any kind of benefits. Like you feel like you can't get as far into the muscle and the fascia as you really want to. This one really allows you to get deep in there and get some of those little hidden trigger points and tender spots that you're trying to roll out. Okay, so again, upper hamstring area that inserts into the glute. Flex your foot towards yourself, dorsiflexion, and then upper body, lean it forward and roll right in there. Get that upper hamstring, okay? Sometimes when you have foot pain, just doing this one alone can alleviate your foot pain on the bottom of your foot because of the fascia, since it connects all the way down from your foot all the way up to your hamstring. Just that right there can really alleviate your pain in the bottom of your foot, because there's pain referral patterns. And once you have to really experience it to believe what I'm telling you, but it's very much true. I've experienced it myself. So now we're on the calves, just like we were with the smooth foam roller, except now we're with the knobby one. Same exact concept. Big deep breaths when you get to the tender spots. Turn your feet left to right to get different angles, and make sure you have one calf on top of the other one. This one's not for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that much, because with the knobby roller plus the weight of your other calf on top, it is pretty painful. I'll tell you that much, but you get a lot of relief afterwards, especially if your leg muscles get tight because you sit a lot for work at a desk, or you just have tight legs in general. Maybe you haven't done much lately as far as exercise goes, or walking or anything like that. All of these things are really going to be helpful towards you getting in better shape and having better range of motion and just feeling like your body feels younger. Foam rolling is a fundamental component to anybody and everybody's workout regimen or routine. And it really should be viewed that way, because foam rolling is so important to releasing restrictions you have in certain areas of your body to then allow you to move properly, move freely, allow your joints to go into the full range of motion, have the proper movement patterns. And the way that everybody used to view stretching, you have to stretch before a run, you have to stretch before a workout, I really believe that we should view foam rolling that way. And it's just as important as the workout itself. You should not skip it, okay? And what it allows you to do is, if you have restrictions in a certain muscle, in a certain area of your body, if you foam roll first and then you go out there and you do your workout, your strength training, your running, whatever it is, it's gonna allow you to move in the full range of motion with the proper movement pattern, and you're gonna do repetitions. You're literally training your body on how to move with the full range of motion and with the proper movement patterns. Whereas if you just go out there and work out or do a little small, warm up where you're maybe doing a little walk or a jog, but you still have those restrictions in certain areas, by the time you get to your repetitions in your workout program, maybe you have pain in your knee, or maybe you have pain in your hip, or you have a little bit of a tightness or restriction there, and you're moving without full range of motion or with an improper movement pattern. And then you go, okay, now I'm going to stretch, or now I'm going to foam roll at the end. Well, you already did a bunch of repetitions with improper form and or a bad movement pattern. So that's the importance of doing it at the beginning of the workout before you work out, okay? It is so important. And when done over time, over the course of weeks or months, if you're somebody that suffers from knee pain, back pain, hip pain, whatever, a lot of the times that pain can be completely remedied, where it's completely gone. And I've witnessed this myself, not only in my own body, but in hundreds of my own clients. And it's something that you should continue in your program, and something that you should keep in your program forever. And when you first start, you got to do it more. So maybe you do it 3-4 times a week, but then later you can back down a little bit to maybe a couple times a week or something like that. But it really depends. If you're somebody that suffers with a lot of restrictions in your body, you may have to do it, always 3 times a week, 4 times a week, something like that. But you will find out with trial and error. And that concludes my foam rolling video for the lower body. I will be releasing one for the upper body. And if you found value in this video, please go ahead and like, subscribe, share the video with friends and family that you know need this stuff, because a lot of people need this. And there's people out there suffering with a lot of pain that's unnecessary. They can totally get rid of it. And yeah, I will see you next time. Okay, take care.